I am KaNikki Jakarta. I am happily serving a 3-year term as the first African American poet laureate of Alexandria, Virginia. And today we're going to have a little small workshop about making writer's block a myth. So it is my idea that if the writer's block belongs to the writer, it means that it doesn't have to exist. So I'm going to read the definition of writer's block. According to the dictionary, writer's block is the condition of being unable to think of what to write or how to proceed with writing. So I remember when I was young and I started to write, and I was talking to my dad and I was saying that I had writer's block, and he said, no, you don't have writer's block. Basically, you need to read more and live more, because we tend to write about, the things that we learn by reading and the things that we experience by living. So I just think that if you live a little more, you'll have something to write. So the writer is a person who has written a particular text. It is a person who writes books, stories, poetry, blogs, or articles, or a person who writes in a specific way. So since the apostrophe mark uses to indicate possession, so again, if the block belongs to the writer, it means that you don't have to keep it. So I wanted to start this workshop off with a writing prompt, and basically using part of our 5 seasons to look. So a picture is worth 1,000 words, or 5 minutes of write time. So if I can ask who's ever controlling the Zoom to post up the photo that I sent over, so we can get to writing about it. And I'm going to get my clock here and see while you guys are uploading that photo. I'm going to get my stopwatch going. Back in the day, I used to actually have a stopwatch, and now everything's on my phone, like everything. So are you guys able to find that photo? For those who are just jumping in, I was just talking about how if the writer's block belongs to the writer, and the apostrophe of in writers makes it ownership of the writer, then the block does not have to belong to you. So you can get rid of it if you want to. So yeah. So let's see. Let me see if I have the photo. Yeah, I would like the photo that I sent you guys. Let me know if you can't find it, and I can search through my email and see if I can find it. There it is. So we're going to look at this photo. We're going to concentrate on it. We're going to give us 5 minutes of writing time, and to see what you come up with just looking at the photo. And I'm going to start my stopwatch right now. 1 minute. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, I always tell the story of how I was a little girl when I was 4 years old, and I went to my church in my hometown, Mobile, Alabama, where I was the bell ringer, and the bell ringer would go down the hallway right when it was time for Sunday school to end. And I would have this big bell, but I was a little girl, and I would have this big bell, and I would be ringing the bell, but I would ring the bell, but I also would say, ding, 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 ding. So if you come to any of my workshops, you're always going to see this. So I created a very small, using that writing prompt that I gave you guys, I've created a very, very small writing from it. I'm going to post it and read it. So it says, back to back, ignoring one another. If only we could face forward and rediscover the child that we have inside. Oh, what possibilities we can create. So I think this is a good opportunity to introduce one another. If you just joined us again, I am KaNikki Jakarta. I am happily serving a 3-year term as the first African-American Poet Laureate of Alexandria, Virginia. I'm happy to be one of the phenomenal women here today, and was so happy to be asked to present this workshop entitled Making Writer's Block a Myth, because it is my belief that if the block belongs to the writers, it does not have to be. So who would like to introduce themselves? You can introduce yourself and read what you wrote, or you could just introduce yourself. So let's see. Let me see if I can make this a screen. I see Catrice up here. Catrice, can we unmute you? Let's see. You look so beautiful. Can we unmute Catrice? She's like, oh, damn. Let's see. I think you may be able to unmute yourself. Let's try.
Did you do it?
There you go.
There we go. Hi, ladies. Good to meet everyone. My name is Catrice Greer. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, in the USA, in case we have any people here from abroad. And so I would like to read for you today. I am a poet in Baltimore. Let's see. So let's dig in. Our collective hurts, bound wires and knots, coiled round themselves, we are too aloof. Broken, mired in the weight of tube and metal as bone, unbreakable, yet already knotted, twisted low. And yet, there is the light shining from the bit of placental womb memories we carry. We remember. We were fed, nourished, whole as our pieces were formed in another twisted space in amniotic waters. We turn, babes, in our own red thin space, and we see our own reflection of birth in each other. There I am, there you are, there we alighted. We find a love there, a canal of hope, to live again, love again, be reborn. Through this vaginal space, a power thrust us forth to each other. In wholeness, we are lighted. Thank you.
Wow. And you wrote all of that in 5 minutes? Very impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive. Thank you so much, Katrina.
Thank you, ladies. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Okay, I see Katie here.
Hello.
Hi,
That's my pen name, and I have a couple of things that I have done with young adult anthologies. And I'm not a poet by any means, but we can all try. My career was a musician, and when I retired, I decided to write. So here I am, and I am right in the midst of writer's block. So this is going to be a great workshop for me. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
So glad you're joining us.
So I didn't have nearly as much as Catrice written, but I have a few thoughts. So, okay. The child within us is not shuttered by the circumstances around us. They see, they reach out. Why don't we listen to them? We were all there at one time, trying to open our minds to embrace the sweetness, community, and peace from long ago that will save our sanity.
Wow, you're absolutely right. I agree with everything that you wrote. I agree with it. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and welcome, Katie.
Thank you.
You don't have writer's block. Okay, is it Jadir? I'm trying real hard. Help me out.
Hi. My name is Gadir. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this beautiful space. I'm a poet. I'm originally from Palestine, but I live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So I did write something. It's not as long, but okay, here we go. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, my niece. 1 second.
Hey.
Say hi.
Hi.
Can you hold on, baby? Can I read this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you imagine the children in the sculpture, like talking to one another, who do we talk to? We don't want friendships. We want soul-to-soul connectivity. We talk to ourselves on paper, though, but that's not enough. We don't have all the answers. Our spirits are hungry for more. We long for a soul to fly with us between the lines of poetry, a language most don't experience in a lifetime. The ones that roam around us are shackled still.
Wow. It's so true. So you said we don't want friendship, we want, did you say soul connection?
Soul to soul.
And that's so true. That's so true. And again, I mean, you only have 5 minutes, so
Thank you.
The whole point is, when we take these times and we write on a time limit, we always say that, part of having writer's block is not having enough time to write, right? So one of the things that I'm trying to convey here is writing. You wrote all of that in 5 minutes, and even if you don't think that it's finished, you can always go back to finish it later. You know what I mean? But you have a start, and that's what we have to start. We'll never finish unless we start. So how to not overcome writer's block? You cannot overcome writer's block by saying you're going to write when you feel inspired, right? Because you never know, once you put that pen to the paper or once you put your fingers to the keyboard, you never know what's going to come out. So you don't have to wait until you get inspired, because actually, if you start writing, something will come out. I promise. Something will come out. You do not overcome writer's block by wallowing in self-pity. You I haven't written anything for years. Maybe I'm not a writer anymore. Maybe I don't think I can do it. No, you don't do that. You inspire yourself and you get to moving, right? So you do not overcome writer's block by procrastinating or making excuses like there's not enough time to write, right? Okay, so you do not overcome writer's block by watching TV. If you watch TV, you gotta get to journaling. You gotta get to writing. You gotta get, focused on the paper, on the screen. You gotta get focused. You do not overcome writer's block by reading articles of how not to overcome writer's block. You know what I mean? Because everybody's process is different, right? So I'm just giving you something here to start with on what I do to overcome writer's block. So the reasons that, of course, it It seems like if you have fear of writing something, maybe it's something that you want to write about, but other people are involved, and you can always change names and make it fiction. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time. That's what editing is for, right? So beginning, you start and you write with your heart in the beginning, and then you edit with your brain, right? So you start here, edit here, right? So we're gonna move on to our next writing prompt. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give you some words. So get ready to write them down. We're gonna use these words, and we're gonna have 4 minutes to use these words and come up with another piece. So here are your words: friends, friendship, sweeter, dear, like Dear John, love, joy, peace, strength, fruits, spirit, kindness, goodness. And I'm going to post them in the chat. Friends, friendship, sweeter, dear, love, joy, peace, strength, fruits, spirit, kindness, goodness. There we go. So I'm going to give you 4 minutes to create something using those words. And if you can see the chat, their words are in the chat as well. And go. 1 minute. Ding, 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 ding. So, how'd you do? Who wants to read theirs? Thumbs up on who wants to read. Do it. Hey, Gadir wants to read. Okay.
I hope I did good. Okay, so friends fade as quickly as the memories we have with them do. However, their friendship may be dear to our hearts, stringing up emotions like love and joy. You do have to look out for your own spirit, though. It enjoys its peace, sweeter than fruits, filled with kindness and goodness for the world to see.
Excellent. Excellent. What a good word. So true. So true. You did wonderfully. You said, I wonder how I did. You did wonderfully. It was great. Anybody else? Catrice, Katie, you want to read? Catrice.
Hello, ladies. Okay. Dear love, you say, I can only fall in. You say friendship is peace between friends. Agape, love, is sweeter than romance. Is it the joy of kindness, the fruit of goodness, the spirit of giving more of yourself than you hold back? Maybe it is the fruits of strength, the one that vulnerability cannot hold back, but instead made fuller, stronger in the moment of what seems like weakness. But in that willing nakedness is more of the spirit of who we are and less who we want to project ourselves to be seen, even in an even unbreakable layer of our broken pieces. This is love.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Love that. Katie, did you want to read? We can.
There are so many words, it was hard for me to decide how to use them. But what is sweeter than the sound of your loves responding to you? To have the spirit within you, sharing kindness and peace with each other, the family becomes a unit of joy and strength. What you share comes back to you tenfold, reaping undying love from your dearest ones.
So beautiful and so true. You guys are amazing. You are amazing what you created and what we're talking about, you know, even though I gave you some of the words, but what it inspired you to think about is just, you know, all different things, you know, like agape love, thinking on a spiritual level, you know, thinking about friendship and, you know, like my mother always told me when I was little, I called everybody my friends when I was little. My mom would say, everybody is not your friend, right? I didn't get that until probably 13, 14. I didn't really understand. I'm like, they are my friends. These are my friends. When I meet somebody, I call. But a friend, you know, my grandmother once told me, she was like, Jesus called the disciples friends. I was like, oh. Okay, so who are you really calling a friend? I mean, and sometimes you just really have to think about, and I know like sometimes even being an adult woman, you know, sometimes we still get our feelings hurt, right? Being, you know, friendships, we still get our feelings hurt. And I realized that sometimes, you know how they say there's a lesson in everything? Some of those times you are teaching something. There is no lesson for you. Sometimes you are the teacher. So you're looking and looking and you're like, what am I supposed to learn from that? Nothing, because you actually taught someone else how to be a friend. So yeah, okay. So what can we do to also overcome writer's block? We can go for a walk, clear our minds, eliminate the distractions, do something to get your blood flowing, exercise, play around, change your environment, read a book, free write is really what we're doing now. You can journal and you can listen to music. So this is what we're going to do. I have provided some music for our team here to upload for us to listen to, and I'm going to get them to play it twice. So if you can go ahead and cue up the music. I'm not a singer. If I could sing, I would probably get on everybody's nerves. I'd be like, I wrote this new song. So what we're going to do is this time when we're listening to the music, we're going to write while listening, right? So we're going to get it to cue up again, and we're going to write while listening. Okay. That music is so inspiring. I found it on the internet somewhere a couple of years ago, and I downloaded it to my phone. It seems like, something uplifting, something you can play in the morning to get you moving, right? So who wants to read theirs? Who wants to read? I get so excited about the reading time. Hey, Kadir wants to read.
Hi. All right. It is uplifting. I really like that one, by the way. I put, in this very moment, take my words, I love you. Absorb the positivity out of each letter and allow it to heal your pain. Seal the hole in your heart and or throw away your sad thoughts with its magical powers. Be present. Uplift your spirit with the presence of my I love you.
I love it too. I want to love you back. I want to do it. Awesome. Who else wants to read? Katie. Catrice. Katie.
Hello again. Okay. This is what the music actually reminded me of. So, how do you stop your mind from the jumble it has become? Some people have boxes in their brain. Open a box, do a task, close the box, rinse and repeat. As a teacher, I had a multitasking brain with many boxes open every waking minute. But as I grow older, I jump from one box to another. Some tasks not finished, others set aside.
True. Got it. I can so see you like teaching. I can see that. Awesome. Okay, Catrice, did you want to read?
I only have bits and pieces because I could only hear it as lyrics, and I gotta listen to it a million times to get it down. So it's like jagged all over the place in different tracks. But I think it goes dun 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 dun. Sometimes I feel good. Oh, you set me free. Something. Then it goes on. I was trying to get the hook. One of the chords goes, when I go alone. And then I just kept getting little pieces, so I can't go get the whole thing. And then the chord kept. I'm trying to read my own terrible handwriting. I'm so sorry, ladies. And then another one was like, how many times I've tried to love myself alone in the vacant space. That's where I find myself going all the way. And then it goes on and on and on. Anyway, there it is. Yes. That's all I got.
Yes. I'm clapping. We're clapping for you. That is amazing. You heard lyrics. Like, that is amazing. That's amazing. See, that's what happens when you write songs and things. So, yeah. That's beautiful. I can see that, and I've heard so many times. I can actually hear when you were singing. I can hear the music along with it. So yeah, I'm gonna send you the link to that.
I would love that. Yeah. I really want to finish it now.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link to that.
Thank you for tolerating my singing, ladies. Thank you. Sorry.
So guys, again, when we use these little bitty times to write, right? We can set our alarm clocks at home, right? We can give ourselves 10 minutes to write, 15 minutes to write, 20 minutes to write, and we can come up with these awesome things. So we do not have writer's block. Writer's block is a myth. You can use your 5 senses and help you come up with information around the world, right? And that's what we were doing. That's why I wanted to show you this photo, right? Because we used one of the 5 senses, which is sight. So we looked and we said, okay, this is what inspired us to. After we saw that, this is what came out as inspiration. And then we used the music. So we used our hearing as well, because hearing is part of your 5 senses. So we listened and we came up with a piece. And then, now we can use, the hearing, the taste, the touch, the sight, the smell, and we can use all of that. You can just think about using your 5 senses, even though we only use 2, but you could think about using your 5 senses to come up with a piece. And how I gave you the words, I'll post on Facebook sometimes. I'll say, people give me words, and I'll take the words that they have. And sometimes I have to look them up because I don't always know these words. And what I like to say is I like to marry words together that may not have met before. So yes. So You do not have writer's block? Let me see. I only have a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to tell you guys that if you'd like to get in touch with me again, you can email me at KaNikkiJ.com. I have another workshop that's coming up at the end of this month, the 22nd. It's called Prep to Publish. So if you're aspiring and you're looking to publish a book, if you are writing a piece or you want to find out about some steps to publish, then you can come to that. And I make it affordable with a sliding scale donation of $10 to $30. I have space available. I always try to keep it small so that you guys can ask questions as well. And then I host facilitate an awesome group called Write Like a Woman. I've been doing it for 5 years. It is amazing. So if you want to meet other women writers, you should come to my Write Like a Woman group. I have a Facebook group online, and we usually do it in person, but we're doing it online because of COVID. COVID sucks. So was I muted the whole time? Part of it? Part of the time. Okay. So yeah, I put it in there. I put it. So it's over there in the chat. So my email is KaNikkiJ@gmail.com. It's KaNikkij@gmail.com. You could just email me. It'll make it easier. We're in a small, I can answer an email versus sending you to my website and all of that. Anybody got any questions they want to ask? Because we have about 4 minutes left. I say 12. Anybody got anything they want to say? I can also send you this information. Catrice, unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. How do you feel about daily practice? I found that when I started to write more frequently, that it kind of built it as a muscle, which helps me to kind of grab fragments quickly. Whereas when I didn't have a daily practice, it was a struggle sometimes for me, but everybody's process is different. How do you feel about daily practice? I
think it's great if you are definitely trying to write something like a book. If you are, because I mean, once you come up with a lot of pieces, then you'll already have a book. Like the book that I just released. I just looked through all the poetry. I didn't create anything different. I just looked through all the poems I already had and said, okay, this is the message I want to convey with the book. Here are the poems, put them in there. I wrote the short stories to go in there, and I did that. Now, of course, practice creates habit, right? So if you want to be a writer, and if you do it every day, it becomes part of your daily routine. It becomes part of a habit. My mom would come home every day and she would have an hour to herself. That is what we knew that. So we didn't feel neglected. This was my mom. My mom, she's like, it's mom hour. Don't ask me anything. Right. So we knew that. So I think, doing something every day creates a habit, and you have to, make the people around you aware. They're going to know. They're going to be like, don't call Catrice between 7 and 9 because she's going to be ready. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's an emergency. So and then creating a habit also lets the people around you be a part of that habit. So if you have kids, if you have a maid, if you have friends, they know that this is your creative time and they're not going to bother you. If that makes sense. So I think, I try to get mine in. I'll get mine in the car. I'll get it in. I tell everybody how I learn poetry is to recite it by memory. I learn it in the car. So I used to be at red lights all the time. So I will be reading it. I'll read a line, repetition, read a line. But now I record it on my phone. So I listen to myself saying it, and then I say it with myself in the car. So I take advantage of the traffic time. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I do that. I do that all the time. Or for lunch breaks, I go sit under a tree, and that's when I journal. So creating you a good habit and using your time wisely. So yay. Anybody else? We still got 2 minutes. Kadir?
Thank you. So I just loved this workshop. I really, really did. Thank you so much. I would actually, it's not a question, but I would like to stay in touch with all of you, because I could see, beauty, create our creative minds linking and creating something amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you have my email. I'll definitely be looking. I met Catrice. I haven't met her in person yet. I think it's probably been a month ago. We met online, and now we are doing all kind of workshops and things together. She's been on my open mic and everything. I host. If you're on Instagram, I'm hosting a open mic on Busboys and I usually host at Busboys and Poets, but I'm doing it on the Instagram live. So if you email me, I'll email you all the stuff, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
Katie.
I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. I've really opened my eyes to a couple of things I never thought about. So thank you. Yay! And it was nice meeting all of you.
You made my day, Katie. That's all we want. You know, as teachers, you want to see on the student face, you want to see the wow. I never thought about that before. That's all about the teaching, like showing somebody something.